Assalamu alaikum. May God's peace be with you, my brothers, my sisters, and all those who are visiting here. Sincerely appreciate you joining me here today. Just wanted to say, now I know it's been a little while since my last video. I know when I first started this channel, I had really intended, at that time, I just said I would just do one of these a week. And over time, I just realized that a lot of times I end up kind of sort of babbling because, I'm trying to, I do have an idea that I'm inspired by, but I just haven't completely filled it in. So I end up a lot of times repeating myself, and that's not really fair to you because I really want you to get some value out of each one of these. And so, and of course, you know me by now if you started from the beginning. And by the way, if this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, I ask you to please go back to the first and start there so you can catch up with the rest of us. But the rest of you who have been with me so far, you know me. You know my brain is a whirlwind. I mean, I could just go on forever. I could. You've heard the term a cappella, or ad lib. I mean, you don't need to give me a script. Just put me over somewhere in a corner, and I'll just go and go and go and go forever. And there won't be any kind of chronological order or anything. My brain will jump from this to that to this to that, and we'll be like, "What are we talking about? How did we get here?" And I'll be like, "I don't know." Stuck for a long. I'm sorry. So I wanted to, at that point, put my ear to the ground and focus really on things that I'm passionate about, and also to listen to my fitra, and listen when God is telling me something, and say, hey, you want to mention something like this, you want to mention this to your brothers and sisters, you want to talk to people. And so that's what inspired today's video. And this is a very important topic. Not that any of the others aren't, but this one is very relevant to what's going on today. So now I have to be very careful, unfortunately, because we know that the corporate entities that pretty much run the planet at this point also run the mainstream media, and they don't like certain terms and certain words being used in certain ways or certain contexts, and I don't want my channel getting shut off because that will take away any of the benefits that you may have from anything that I've shared previously, which would be terrible to you. So I'm going to be careful. I'm going to be a little bit creative in my wording and descriptions, but I think for the most part, you guys are going to figure out, you'll catch on, okay? So there is a global trend right now. It kind of has been for a while, but it's really reached a fever peak lately. It is, these particular narratives are being pushed by almost every, especially in the Western world. I mean, everywhere, every government, every country in the Western world is just full on pushing these narratives. But they are also starting to pressure a lot of countries in the Middle East as well. And I think that this pressure is causing a lot of backlash. And this is in regards to let's call this group the Alphabet Club. I believe that term was, I'm borrowing it from another channel, brothers called the Three Muslims. I believe it was Brother Fayad, if I'm not mistaken, that coined that term. So Jazakallah, Brother Fayad, for that very interesting term. Another one comes from Daniel Hakikatu. Shout out to you as well. He calls them Komlut. Okay, so I think we're on the same page now for sure. And so yes, this is really getting kind of crazy, right? You see governments now trying to enforce these things in our curriculum, even in our schools. Now, it's kind of strange when you look at that. You're like, what is happening here? You know, how does somebody's lifestyle, or what they should be keeping private, suddenly get waving around on flags and banners and paraded in the streets? What is this? Well, I mean, it's pretty clear if you really think about it, what's really at the heart of this and what the origin is, but not to everyone, apparently. So, first of all, you have to understand that this society, or group, if you will, this alternate lifestyle kind of group, you have to kind of understand where it came from. But before we even get into that, here's what really inspired me to talk about this today. So, and this might be a little bit longer than the rest of my videos. I apologize, but I hope that that you really get something out of this. This is very important. Okay. So, when I first took my Shahada, I was very zealous about my faith. And as a result of that, I was very, very negative and even confrontational to a point of anything that deviated from it. I was very intolerant of anything else. And that's the wrong way to be. This is not the feature of our Prophet. This is not right. This is not what Allah Azza wa Jal intends for us or wants from us. Okay? I was very zealous, and of course, when it came to the Qumlut, I was extremely confrontational and very bigoted. And again, because, I knew for a fact that the Quran is the true word of God, and the Quran is very clear about how God feels about these things. So I was like, black and white. You don't cross this line, and that's it. It's true. It is a terrible, terrible sin. But I've had an epiphany a couple of days ago. I honestly, I know where this came from. The same source of all my inspiration. Why that particular moment, I'm not sure. That's not up to me. I didn't write the book, right? I'm just playing my part in it. But what I'm getting at is, so I looked back and I noticed how, I made some observations, and I said, hating sinners, it's not right. That is not the way of Islam. And I said, first of all, and secondly, how can I judge someone else for their sin when I commit my own? I mean, sure, when you say your Shahada, right? Alhamdulillah, Allah forgives all your previous sins, cleans your slate. Which human being on this planet, in this reality, has since then never committed a single sin ever? Which one of us walks on water? Please tell me. Which one of us is perfect? Please tell me. Today, right now, who in this world is absolutely perfect? Never committed a sin. Never said anything derogatory. Never did anything wrong. Was absolutely perfect and lives in a glass house. Who? The answer is nobody. Nobody. Not the most glorified sheikh on the planet is perfect. None of us are. We are all sinners. All of us. Every single one of us. Every single one of us. Now, we pray and we beg forgiveness. We make mistakes and then we acknowledge those mistakes. Sure. But the bottom line is we are all sinners. That's part of making mistakes, is actually part of being human. This goes with the package, right? So then how can I say, well, your sin is worse than my sin? What kind of nonsense is that? What gives me the right to arm myself with stones in my glass house and throw them at somebody else? You understand where I'm coming from? We are not judges. We are not in that position. There is only one judge in the universe, and that is Allah Azawajal. And the time to pass judgment is Allah Azawajal. That is on Him. Okay? As that passage in Surat al-Yusuf said, you know, to you your works and to me my works. I am innocent of what you do and you are innocent of what I do. Right? So what that means is essentially live and let live. Now, when people are trying to push narratives and agendas and force them upon you, be they individuals or governments, then yes, we need to push back and say, this is not cool. But you don't hate the sinner. You can't hate the sinner because you are a sinner. Don't hate the sinner. Hate the sin, but not the sinner. Okay? Don't hate the sinner. Because these are still human beings. Just like you and me. They're horribly misguided. Yep. Definitely on the wrong track. Absolutely. But an observation I made about people, because I've known some in my lifetime, and there are actually a few in my family even. And looking back and looking at all their lives, I started to recognize a pattern. First of all, none of them were born this way. Something in their lives changed them and threw them off track and threw them in this direction. And I'll explain to you what that was. Pain, trauma, abuse. Most specifically during childhood. Something very, very horrible happened to them when they were children. They were victims of abuse. And the abuser was someone that was respected. Someone in a position of authority, whether it be a father or a family member, or, in some cases, someone of a religious authority, or someone well respected by a community. So what happened to these children is when they were hurt, when they were violated and hurt, they turned to others for help. They were looking for love. They were looking for acceptance. You know? And what happened? They were rejected. They were rejected by the very people that they thought they could trust. Those people turned on them, angry, and said, "How dare you? How dare you accuse so-and-so of doing these terrible things? How dare you? So-and-so is such a well-respected so-and-so. How dare you? Shame on you. Shame on you for being a victim. Shame on you for being hurt. It's your fault. Your pain is your fault. What they did to you, that was your fault. You deserved it. You're a terrible person." They were attacked emotionally, spiritually, shattered by people that were supposed to be the people that they could turn to. The community that supposedly followed God. And what is God? God is love. The people that were supposedly representatives of love were not showing them love. They were showing them hate. So these broken people, these scared children, these broken children or young adults, there they are, shattered, shaking, and then someone else comes along and says, "Oh, hey, wounded bird with a broken wing, come here. I know your pain. I acknowledge your pain. I care about you. I feel your pain. I have the love you need. I have the acceptance you need. I have the family you need. Be one with us. Come with us. So this person's got these two choices, really. Go with group A that supposedly is following God, but is displaying hatred and violence. Or follow this other group with this symbol of a goat's head and a multicolored flag behind it that says they're all about love and acceptance. Well, these broken children, this is all they wanted, was love and acceptance. That's what they needed to heal. So it was pretty clear what door they were going to go walking through. How did this happen? The people of God rejected the people that needed them. And the people of Iblis, the people of Dajjal, welcomed them right in. Now, we know that their true intentions are not what they say they are. This is of course. But they're very, very good at hiding things. So the righteous, in our arrogance, in our hubris, in our zeal, we project animosity. We project intolerance. These are not the things that we should be projecting. These are the exact opposite of the very message God had for us. And what message is that, you say? Well, in Christianity, it's easy, okay? In Luke, or not even Luke, let's go to Matthew. Let's go to chapter 22 in the book of Matthew. When you were basically looking at what the pillars of Isa's, alayhi salam's whole ministry was. You know, Isa answered, the first is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one, la ilaha illallah, and you shall love your God with all of your heart, and all of your soul, and all of your mind, and with all of your strength. And then the second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other greater commandments than these. And then let's move on to Surat al-Hujurat, right? Which is the the rooms. Okay? Oh, humanity, we created you from a male and a female and made you into peoples and tribes so that you may get to know one another. And surely the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you. Allah is truly all-knowing, all-aware. You know, there are other sayings too. There are other very important. For example, it says there's a hadith that talks about, it says the heart cannot be pure if it holds malice, envy, pride, and arrogance. That the Prophet made it a requirement of faith that he love for his brother what he loves for himself. You know, and so yeah, I'm looking at all this and I'm saying to myself, my God, we made this happen. We caused this to happen. People that needed acceptance and needed love, which is what we're supposed to be all about. I mean, look at the word Islam. What does the word mean? Does it mean warfare? Does Islam mean bloodshed? Does Islam mean jihad, holy war, kill everybody, murder the world? Is that the word? Is that what the word means? No. No. Islam means peace. And they don't mean peace by killing everybody else. That's not what it's about. It's never what it's about. All of these other people, whether they come loot or idolaters or what, They're all still creations of God. Every one of them, He made them all. What right do we have to hate them? None. That is not what He wants from us. Hate everybody else because they're different? Quran makes it very clear. Allah created us different on purpose. Spread us out all over the world on purpose. So that we could recognize the fact that we don't judge a book by its cover. We look for the inside. We look for the content. What's something I've been stressing over and over about prayer? That it doesn't matter, that the ritual is not the most important thing. The words themselves are not the most important thing. It's the intent. It's what's in your heart. This has been a common thing amongst the most enlightened human beings since the dawn of time. It's what's in the heart that matters. And what's been in ours lately? Hate, loathing, and intolerance. And what does that do? Is that inviting people? Is that attracting people? No. You know, a lot of us have been celebrating how you know, we celebrate with pride, and which we shouldn't feel, because that's a sin. That's Iblis's sin. But about how, you know, Islam is the #1 religion, growing religion in the world. That record number of peoples are coming through the door. But you know what they forget to tell you? Which is another statistic? Record number of people are going out the door. They're running out that door as quickly as they run in. And you know why? That's our fault. That's your fault. That's your fault. That's your fault. And that's my fault. Because they look at the people that are following, supposedly following, the true path of God, and these people are nasty, and rude, and unwelcoming, and unloving, and intolerant, and prejudiced, and bigoted. And they're like, well, this isn't what I was looking for. I was looking for love. I was looking for support. I was looking for help. Instead, I'm getting judged. Instead, I'm getting hate. So they're running right back out the door as quickly as they came in. Well, and then meanwhile, you have these groups led by the most diabolical darkness in all the universe. But they painted on, you know, rainbows and sprinkles and... Oops, I said the R word. Sorry. But they painted on, you know, multicolors and glitter and said, we're all love and support. And they put on an incredible show of it. And it's inviting. And the wounded and the broken are getting sucked up. You know? I mean, it's the ultimate bait and switch, right? It's a trap. We know it's a trap. But it's a real good one. And again, you know, if a lot of times it's like people just they just want a Band-Aid. They just want a hug. That means the world to them. They want that warmth, and we're not giving it. The people that supposedly are on the path of God, who is love above all else, but we're not showing that at all. We're showing the opposite. We are looking like the darkness that we're supposed to be rejecting and fighting against. And you know I'm right. You know I'm right. Just look. Look at all the hate. Now, I don't blame anyone for it. It's a knee-jerk reaction. It's the kind of reaction that you feel when you put your hand in the fire and you're like, ouch, ooh. And this is the reaction we have because we're being attacked, yes. Yes, we are. But we're not fighting it the right way. You don't fight fire with fire, okay? What happens when you do that? Everything burns. That's what happens. The whole thing burns down. Us and them, we're all burned down. And then what? Well, then it's all over. I mean, you know. Again, I know being a Westerner, there's some things I'm exposed to and familiar with in my culture that aren't. But if you've ever saw the original movie War Games, right? How did they convince the computer that war was not the answer? They told the computer to play tic-tac-toe against itself. And what did it do? Every single time, nobody won. Over and over and over again, both sides were losers. Every single time. And so then it took that data, that concept, and played it out in all of these different war scenarios. And again, it saw the same thing over and over again. Didn't seem to matter. At the end, it's all over. It's all over. It's all over. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. Everybody loses. Everybody. And so then the computer stopped and said, wow, this is a dumb game. What's the point? It goes, smartest thing to do is just not even bother to play at all. Bingo. See, that's what you need to do. Now, these groups, this particular group we're talking about, this alternate group, the people that are at the top of this group, the very top, the ones that are organizing everything, these are the same people that are responsible for all of the evil on this planet. These are the secret puppet masters that are manipulating governments all around the world. And they have taken a hold of this alternate lifestyle organization for the purposes of political power. Not for the purpose of helping these people. No. Not at all. But for the purpose of manipulating them. And alhamdulillah, fortunately, some people are waking up to that. Okay? So there is a link I'm going to share that's very important and speaks out about this below. I don't know how long it's going to stay there, but take a look at it. Okay? Now, especially, to my fellow Westerners that are, starting to recognize all of these patterns and starting to recognize all of this, that you see what I see, that you see the media is filled with nothing but garbage. Nothing but woke garbage. And it is just infiltrating everywhere to the point where you can't even really watch the news, right? Believe it or not, even Al Jazeera is owned by these same multinational corporations like BlackRock. Okay, you might think, oh no, no, they are. They're all in, and they're all under their influence. But there are still some names out there of people that are trying to keep the truth alive and trying to carry that torch. So there are some names I'm going to drop below of people that I think you really need to pay attention to and start following. Look for them on Twitter, look for them on Instagram, look for them on YouTube. Okay? And they will really give you a whole new perspective about a lot of the things that are happening around us. And then in Islam, like I said, probably two of the most influential teachers of all time that are really trying to share some truths about our own faith and really bring some things to light that have been, just covered up over the centuries. We've all been manipulated. Our own faith has been infiltrated as well. And these are Dr. Omar Zaid and Imam Benjamin Bilal. So, and you can find them both on the website in the various videos on the website of Al Ginkgo. And again, I'm going to drop that link below. So it's very important. So ultimately, let me wrap this up by saying that, you know, it's pretty much been a universal message throughout all of the prophets that it's very important to love our neighbors. And it's very important to show tolerance. Okay? Again, you don't hate people. You don't hate the people. You don't hate the sinners, because we're all sinners. We're all guilty of something. Don't hate the sinner. Do not target a person. Do not target the people. Hate the lifestyle. Hate the sin. Not the sinners. Not the individuals. We have to start portraying Islam for what it always was meant to be. What our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, what is the greatest victory he ever had in his lifetime? Okay? Was the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. His greatest victory, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. And what battle was that? There was no battle. There was no battle. It was all diplomacy. It was all diplomacy. And more people came running to him because of that, because of his decency and virtue, than ever in any time when he raised a sword. It was when his sword was sheathed that people came to him the most. So this antagonistic behavior, I get it, you know, we're being gaslighted. Yes. Well, we need to stop reacting to it the way we are. Because at the heart of a lot of these people, that have been attracted to this alternate lifestyle, inside them, and I know this because of the people in my own life that I've met and experienced. I know this is a fact. Deep inside them, there is deep hurt. There is deep hurt. We need to start showing them the love. Show them that God is love, and God is light, and God is truth, and the love that they think they're finding in the dark, it's not. It's false. And as long as we keep our doors shut and windows slammed shut, and we keep hating them and pushing them away, there is no hope for them to ever come back. And everyone has a chance to come back. As I said before, I was once an idolater. I once followed an evil path. But then one day Allah Azza wa Jal reached out and found me. And I'm telling you flat out, if I can be saved, if there is hope for me, there is hope for anybody. Anyone can be saved. But when we reject them with hatred, when we show them hatred and throw stones at them, we're barring that path. We're burning that bridge. We're standing in the way of their hope. We're standing in the way of their salvation. We're actually preventing them from reaching out to God. And that is a grievous sin, as you well know. We need to stop barring them. Now again, I'm not saying we compromise our rules. No. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is stop hating these people on an individual basis. Okay? Stop with the hate. Stop with the name calling. Stop with the intolerance. Stop with the disgust. Stop with lighting things on fire. Stop with blowing stuff up. That is not the way of peace. Look at the way that they were lured into this. What were they looking for? Love and acceptance. That's what they need from us. Not saying we paint our walls multicolors. No, no, no. We're not waving flags. That's not what this is about. This is about turning people's attention towards the Creator, but showing them why. Showing them what it's like to walk in the light of God's love and being an example of that. Being an example of virtue. And teach people to love virtue and love their God by showing them love and support. This is what we have to work with. We have to work on this. You know, while again, yes, reject the sin, but don't reject the sinner. Leave a window open for the sinner, because we don't want them all to go to the other side. We want them to find salvation. This is one of the reasons I made this page. Because I know what it's like to be lost and then be found. And that happiness in my heart from being found. And I've always wanted to share that with people. And I want people to know just how good that feels. I want that for people more than anything. You know? We have to be the peace that we claim we are. We have to be. We have to be. If there is any hope for humanity at all, that's what we need to do. We need to change our tactics. We need to use our brains and be more clever with how we deal with these things. The knee-jerk reactions, we need to cool our jets. Okay? How we do all that, I'm not a strategist. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, okay? I'm just saying what I feel. From there, inshallah, you know, God willing, we'll find our way. I want to close by I think it just helps sum it all up, because again, it's just such a powerful passage. Is by reciting Ayatul Kursi. Okay, so. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la takuzuhu sinatun wa la nawm lahu ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard man zal ladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'izni ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum wa yahituna bi shay'in min ilmihi illa bima sha'a wasi'a kursiyuhu samawati wal arda ولا يهور حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. I thank you for joining me here today. I hope that I've inspired you, and I hope that that you take what I've said to heart. That you kind of get an idea what I'm talking about, and that you know, remember that fitra, remember that love in your heart. Make that your focus. Your love of Allah, Azza wa Jal, our Creator, and the love of His creation. Combine them together. And let that light envelop you, and let it radiate from you for all the world to see, because that's a great charity. And as you know, that's one of the founding pillars of our faith, is doing good unto others. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to doing good unto others. That's how you destroy evil. You know, as the doctor, you know, what was that? Dr. Luther King even said, you can't defeat darkness with darkness. Only light can do that. So let's light up the hearts of others by lighting up ours, inshallah. God's peace be with you all. Thank you for joining me here today. Jazakallah khair.